Okay, y'all. Y'all see the title. Is right under 3 minutes long. Let's see what we can find out, y'all. Okay, you see it says it's 25,000 eviction notices filed in Detroit, despite the moratorium, a poverty group says. New research from the Poverty Solutions at the University of Michigan shows that even during COVID's moratorium evictions, 25,000 eviction notices were still filed in Detroit, and thousands of families were uprooted and evicted despite the moratorium. Fox 2 is working for you and delivers breaking news, blah, 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 blah. And I still haven't been able to get my buddy that's a landlord that owns houses and whatnot to sit still long enough to get that interview. I've been trying to get that interview for y'all for a year, and he says he'll do it, but god damn, come on, man. I gotta get him. Texas and Detroit and Michigan is two totally different things. But anyway, let's go ahead and roll this not so beautiful bean footage.
Kenneth Davis helps his daughter, Marilyn Griffin, get rid of some of her belongings. Inside, the closet holds hangers with no clothes and bags are being packed. On this day, Marilyn Griffin and her 3 children will leave Garden View Estates, where they lived for 10 years. What is happening here today?
I'm being evicted today.
Griffin and her children are part of a growing eviction crisis in the city of Detroit. During the pandemic, she says she was laid off and applied for COVID emergency rental assistance, or SARA funds. And Garden View Estates was paid thousands of dollars. But she says they didn't live up to their end of the bargain.
Garden View Estate supposed to fix up my place, and they failed to do that.
Griffin says she had complained about mold due to plumbing issues as well as broken appliances, repairs she says the landlord was supposed to make but didn't. So she withheld rent, and they're evicting her. Premier Property Management CEO Bob Beal telling Fox 2 the damage to the apartment was more than normal wear and tear.
Y'all try to take advantage, you know? Y'all take my money, you don't want to fix nothing. That don't make sense.
I didn't want to see my daughter be put out in the street.
But new research from Poverty Solutions at the University of Michigan shows it's happening to more and more families. Their research shows even during COVID's moratorium on evictions, 25,000 eviction notices were still filed in Detroit, and thousands of families were uprooted and evicted despite the moratorium.
It's in many cases easier for a landlord to evict an existing tenant and increase the rent than it is to navigate non-payment or to resolve a dispute.
Researcher Alexa Eisenberg worries the situation is only getting worse. The last day to apply for SARA funding is June 30th, and there's only so much rental assistance still available. With rents going up and a severe shortage of low-income housing, more people could be on the streets.
Many tenants who have fallen behind in recent months are not going to be able to access emergency rental assistance to prevent their evictions.
Eisenberg also says 9 in 10 evictions filed from March 2020 to March 2022 were filed by landlords who were not even code compliant, including Marilyn Griffin's.
Her property that she's living in lacks a certificate of compliance with the city of Detroit, which under the law is required for a landlord to legally rent out their units.
Eisenberg says in the case of Garden View Estates, research shows they're a top evictor, but owner and property manager Bob Beal tells Fox 2 he's owed $250,000 in back rent. It's all part of a larger problem that's in need of solutions to keep people like Marilyn Griffin and her family in a home. In Detroit, Amy Lang, Fox 2 News.
Now, that was 2 days ago. This was 5 days ago.
These houses were owned by families. This block was live with children, and community.
And now I'm seeing boarded up windows.
Boarded up windows.
Look, the hood that I lived in, most of it is bulldozed, and the stuff that ain't bulldozed, ain't nobody living in there. Oh, and the story, I'm not playing the next one after this, when ex-Detroit Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick crowdfunding donations for his new life. Get TFOOH. But even though I say that, I know how ninjas get down. Ninjas love being drugged by... Forget it. Let's go. Wait a minute. Okay.
Vacant lots. I mean, you see for yourself, it looks terrible.
Sonia Bonnet used to own this home, but she lost it. Her house and others like it foreclosed to the city of Detroit.
The reason you're not in this home anymore, in part, is because you say you were overassessed.
Correct.
Local governments assess property values in order to charge homeowners taxes. When a property is overassessed, many homeowners face a tax bill they cannot pay.
That's common here in Texas. The state of Texas has, we're in the top 5 of the highest property taxes in the nation. I don't know where Michigan sits with Texas, but if I'm not mistaken, Texas is third or fourth or something. But anyway, the property tax here in Texas is pretty freaking high. And the school tax, if you live in a district where you got a 5A school where people send their kids from all across the United States to play football, because y'all know Texas is, Friday Night Lights, right? This Texas. It's a movie, but it's reality here. High school football is a thing here. Well, it's a thing here in Iowa. I'm not saying it ain't, but it ain't a thing like it is in Texas. Anybody that's into grassroots football from high school to college knows that. If you live in one of them districts that got one of them Texas high school football powerhouses, your property tax is through the roof.
Bonnet and other homeowners say Detroit has and still is overassessing property taxes, leading to widespread foreclosures. Now, an advocacy group is filing a complaint with the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development to investigate overassessments in Detroit.
The city was assessing my house at about $23,000. The house was roughly worth maybe $5,000.
The city has acknowledged overassessments took place from 2010 to 2013, Detroit tentatively agreeing to $6 million in funding for relief programs in response. But that $6 million is only about 1% of the estimated $600 million overassessed from 2010 to 2016. Just what should be done to reconcile these overassessments remains heated debate.
That is what they did. They robbed us.
Havana Robinson says she too was overassessed.
I went down to the city tax office and I inquired about the taxes.
The city did reassess her home, but Havana says it did not change her bill.
This property isn't even worth $10,000.
Robinson managed to keep her home, but many who were overassessed did not.
What's the emotional toll for you?
I've had breakdowns. I lost my hair.
Sonia, who identifies as low income, says she purchased her home from what the city would later call an unscrupulous investor. She inherited their unpaid property taxes on the home and then accrued her own. Between 2005 and 2018, about 1 in 3 homes in Detroit were taken by the government through property tax foreclosure. many due to overassessments. According to a 2020 study, the rate of overassessments in Detroit has fallen.
A lot of the problem was fixed, but not for the lowest valued homes.
Bernadette Atuahene is a professor and member of the Coalition for Property Tax Justice in Detroit, a group demanding in part that Detroit provide fiscal compensation to overassessed homeowners.
When you're talking about this overassessing, again, it's a racial justice issue.
And it's not just Detroit. Across the country, Black and Latinx residents face overassessed property taxes 10 to 13%.
What the hell is Latinx? Latinx? That's some new shit on me. I mean, new stuff on me. And I live in Latin Central. I'm in Southeast Texas. Hold on, let me pause and hit the Google machine. Well, not Google. I don't F with Google. I should have known. It's some rainbow riding stuff. Now, why didn't they just leave it as Black and Latin? They gonna play Latinx. Latinx is gender neutral Latinos and Latinas. LGBTQI LMNOP. What the fuck? I should have known. And is it just me that noticed there ain't a man in this damn video? In this Puff Pete? Not yet. We still got a minute and some change left, so let's hold out hope.
10% higher. We asked the city of Detroit if it would pay back the homeowners for overpaid taxes.
What happens for those folks who did get overassessed in that period? Is there some form of reparation?
The city said since the state closed its books on those tax years, legally, it can't go back and write a check for that money. It's an argument that's fueled an ongoing legal fight between the city and nonprofit advocacy groups.
Now, rainbow or not, to me, that sounds like some bull. That sounds like some bull corn right there. That's bull butter. That's bull butter. And yeah, this is my home. I'm telling y'all, I'm born and reared out of here, but that's bull butter. That's why I don't live there anymore. Well, not that we didn't lose a house, but you know what I'm saying. The bull butter part.
The Detroit mayor's office said in a statement it has revamped the assessment process, adding staff and new technology. The city also says it offers up to 100% exemption on property taxes based on household income, saying these reforms brought down foreclosures of occupied homes 94% between 2015 and 2019. Still, homeowners want restitution.
So we don't want you to give us a grant to fix our home. We want the cash with interest that you stole from us. Or we want a credit on future tax bills.
Until they pay Detroiters back the money that they stole from us and the homes that they stole from us, we can't say we won.
All right, Zinkley Esamwa joins us now. So Zinkley, I think the only question is, what's going to happen to those?
The only man so far is a dude that's that's being broadcast in from New York. Now she back in Aspen. Okay, so she in Colorado, so she must have left Colorado to go to Detroit to do this story. And then there's an NBC affiliate in Detroit, is, if I'm not mistaken, is WDIV. I can't remember the channel, but I think it's WDIV because I remember what?
Former homeowners, will they get their homes back? Will they get some type of financial restitution back? I mean, it seems at this point they just need a lawyer to try to get something back.
Yeah, Tom, that's spot on. And it's a hot button contested legal issue, right? Because people lost their homes. And actually, Michigan's state constitution says it's illegal to assess a property at more than 50% of its value. Now advocates are saying that is what happened. And as a result, last year, Representative Rashida Tlaib actually sent a letter to Detroit's mayor asking for more data on overassessments from the city. The city did provide part of that information, but advocates want more, and they're willing to go to court for it. There have been some legal filings. So, Tom, this is definitely an issue and a story we're going to have to continue to follow.
Thanks for watching our YouTube.
No, I don't like you. But yeah, it is WDIV. I am, my memory serves me correctly. But But ain't a man in sight. And notice the video that I done too about the Georgia evictions. Same thing. There wasn't a man in sight. Not one. Where are the men at, y'all? I mean, when you look at our population numbers, I mean, yeah, the women outnumber the men but it's by a couple of points. Where are the dudes at? Rate, comment, share, subscribe. Goodbye. Oh boy, this is crazy. I wish these people luck. I hope there's something at the end of the rainbow for them. Well, damn, I said rainbow. Y'all know what I mean. The pot of gold, the leprechaun. Come on. Don't do this to me.